Hey everybody, we're live. Welcome to Social Media and AI Shortcuts. Hi, I'm Madalyn Skylar, and today we're going to dive into tools, tactics, and conversations that are helping creators work smarter, not harder. That's been my motto forever. I'm all about working smarter, not harder, and sharing that with everybody so that we can all help and learn from each other. I'm going to be sharing something really cool. It is what I call my power combo workflow. That's what I'm calling it. It's for my YouTube thumbnails. I've come up with a whole system that I want to share with everybody because it just took me a while to kind of figure out a really great system that works for me. Now it's going to be different for everyone. But what I've been doing is using a tool called vidIQ, the letters VID, vid, short for video, IQ. And I've been using it to help me create thumbnails and to really help me get ideas going fast for thumbnails. And then if they're not 100% of what I want, then I go over to Canva and I'm able to keep working it, but using the tools in Canva. And then I've got ChatGPT as my little sidekick. That's my part strategic editor, part creative partner with like kind of helping me put this all together, and it's really turned into this simple system I've created where I've really streamlined this. And so I want to show that with y'all today. I'm going to walk you through and show you how I'm doing it. If anything, you'll get some good takeaways for creating images using AI, not necessarily for YouTube thumbnails. I'm going to show how I'm doing it for YouTube thumbnails, but it can be applied to any type of image generation you're doing, and especially if you want to incorporate AI. We're also going to unpack some powerful takeaways from a recent episode of the AI Explored podcast. It's a really great podcast by Mike Stelzner. You may know him from Social Media Examiner. He has a really popular podcast for that community as well. And this episode, they talk about why transcripts are becoming gold in the world of AI, how you can utilize, your conversations, pulling that transcript and have an AI help you for a variety of things. And they talk about that in this episode. And you can, really train your ChatGPT or your preferred AI model to become your time-saving assistant. So I'm going to show you some of these clips because I found it to be really helpful, and I think you might find it too. Plus, a little later, we're going to have a really cool tip from Rachel, who's here with us, on how to bold or italicize your social media posts. There's a really cool free tool that helps you do that, and also Barb is going to kind of help. I mean, we're going to have a discussion, but she brought this to our school community this morning, an important conversation we need to have about Meta's crackdown on unoriginal content. So we're going to look at that and see what this means for creators like us. So if you're new here, hi, I'm Madalyn Skylar, and I've been teaching social media and digital marketing for decades, a very, very long time. And I like to help people make smart, simple moves with AI, with their social media to grow their presence without feeling so overwhelmed. It's so easy to get overwhelmed with social media, and I'm just trying to make it easier for everyone. So I'm going to bring up our panelists for today so we can, as always, have a great 1-hour discussion here in our weekly live stream. Hey, everybody, it's good to see this group. I love our group. We got such amazing people. I see Cindy Lou just made it in as well. How are y'all today?
Fantastic.
Yes. Ready
Hello.
to go.
I feel like saying class is in session, but it's not really a class. I feel like Madalyn, the teacher, with her students, but it's not. This is just it's great. I love this because it's just a casual conversation. We're hanging out and talking about things that I'm very passionate about, which is social media and AI. Those are my favorite things. And I'm always coming across stuff new that I want to share because it's like, I don't want to hold this in. It's like, this might help somebody. So I love that we come on here and have this casual discussion. So thank you all for joining. You know what? We haven't done this in a while. Why don't we go around the room real quick and have everybody just do a very brief, short introduction, who you are and what you do. We'll start with you, Barb.
Oh, I'm an OG. And this morning, folks, I'm having a tough time just being here, but I am one that you can typically count on to show up, rain or sunshine. And so I'm just going to pass because Madalyn, you know what I'm dealing with behind the scenes.
Well, I appreciate you being here, but yeah, you're OG. We go way back, and I always love having you here with us, Barb, because you always bring so much to the conversation with your many decades of experience. Next up, but thank you for being here. Next up is Rachel. Hey, Rachel.
Hi, thank you. I'm Rachel in the OC, also known as Bad Redhead Media. Been on Twitter for friggin' ever, so I've known you all for a long time, except for Cindy Lou, but I'm glad to know her. I write books to help authors figure out branding, SEO, and marketing. I also have a Substack, about 7,000 subscribers. It's completely free. And I share a lot of the information that either I learned from you all or that I learned and wanted to bring to you. So if you go to Bad Redhead Media on Substack, it's totally free to subscribe. And I do book marketing and socials for authors.
You do a lot of great stuff, and I just love your Substack post on the whole Facebook thing we talked about recently here on the live stream. You did such a great in-depth post about it. So, yeah, highly recommend everybody check out your Substack. Next up is Maria. Hey, Maria.
Hello. Hello, everybody. I'm Maria Humphreys. I am a podcaster. My show is called Strong Body, Strong Soul. I'm really passionate about helping people find the power of their own voice. And so years ago, I got involved in social media to try and promote and help people get into meditation and such, but it's turning out that I'm kind of a tech geek also. And so this kind of conversation is so important to me, especially with all of the chaos that's going on in the world. There's enough stress already. You might as well take advantage of some of this technology to ease the burden a little bit. It's a part of business, it's a part of mental health. This social media can be such a godsend, really. So that's why I am here. Strong Body, Strong Soul is the podcast, but these conversations, I'm here for it. I love asking the questions that some of you might be wondering too, because I am not a tech expert. I'm just kind of a geek about it. I love it. I love all these people on the screen too. So
I
it's
love
really
that
fun.
you always come here asking questions. I love that about you, Maria, because I know not everybody they kind of take everything in, but don't always think to I'm the kind that I don't always think to ask questions when I'm attending something like this. But you're just not afraid to hey, I got a question.
Yeah. I'm not going to pretend I know what you're talking about.
And that's okay. And this is not, this is not for tech. It's great when people are techie that are here with us, but you don't have to be part of the conversation. You certainly don't have to be a techie. And I love that y'all walk away with new things, but you also come on here and share stuff that's beneficial for everyone. So it's always great just having this group. Bez, you're next. Tell us a little bit about you.
Yes, my name is Bez Renhefo, and I am a headhunter. I do recruiting specifically in the healthcare and tech space. And I also do recently a bit of career coaching. So I'm sort of building that community sort of low key right now, but eventually we'll probably do a more public launch. So, and I love AI and I love social media. And I'm tinkering around, and what did they say? I know enough to be dangerous, and I can be dangerous.
And you love the 80s, baby.
80s is my jam. That's right. So
We still got to do that live stream we've talked about.
Yeah, we definitely have to.
We need a plan for that. And Cindy Lou's here all the way from New Zealand. Where is tomorrow morning? Hey, Cindy Lou. I know it's very early for you.
Good morning. Yes, it's 5:13 a.m. right now here in New Zealand. Hopefully you're hearing me okay. My screen keeps refreshing. Okay, awesome. Yeah, I help people learn. I have a YouTube channel called Live Online Learning where we lean on laughter while we learn out loud. So that's me. I've been using computers since I was 10 years old, which means I have more than 50 years of experience. It's just absolutely crazy to think about.
Right.
Right. We'll just keep moving on. So super excited about you showing us your little thing today. And I have recently done some stuff with AI images. So I'd love to share that at that time. So yeah, excited to be here.
Cool. Well, so glad you're here. Bonnie Frank's tuning in. Bonnie Frank, I have not talked to you in a long time. It's good to see you, my friend. It's been ages. This community of ours is great. I love that y'all come on here, even with Cindy Lou, all the way halfway around the morning, halfway around the world, whereas tomorrow morning, very early, to come hang out and chat with us. Always great stuff. We when we come together and have this discussion. So want to remind everybody we are on the school platform. So be sure to put that up on the screen there. School.com/Madalyn Sklar, where you can join us. It's a free community where we hang out, where we go beyond this 1 hour live stream each week, where we just keep our conversations going. And some of the things we're talking about are on here. So like, you have seen it or heard it first over here, like Barb posting about with Meta, with wanting to combat unoriginal content. We're going to talk about that later. And I'm going to show you all my new workflow for YouTube thumbnails. And Rachel had shared about utilizing, well, here it is, how to add to do a bold and italics on your social media without having to have a premium account, which is really cool. Because like on X, for those of us that have the premium account, we can bold, we can italicize, we can do stuff, but not everybody, has the paid account. So it's one of those tools where it bypasses all of that. And Rachel, I'm so glad you shared that, because I've seen all that, and I know there are tools that do that for free. I don't ever really think to do it much. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of changing up, forcing it to do like, different types of fonts and italicizing things, but it does stand out. When you see people do it, it makes their post stand out. So there are good reasons to do it. But whenever I'm trying to like, oh, what was that tool called? I just go Google, or our new thing, I'll just go ChatGPT it. How many of y'all are starting to say, just ChatGPT it? I'm starting to catch myself saying that. Like, is that becoming a thing now? It seems like it's becoming a thing.
I wonder if you typed in ChatGPT, please italicize and bold this headline, if it would do it, if you copied it and then put it on. I haven't tried that. I just used, it's called YayText, YAYText.com. It's totally free. And because
I'm going to show that.
Yeah, because I work with authors and I'm an author myself. And previous to figuring this out, we'd put the title of books in all caps. And, all caps is like shouty caps, and we try not to do that. But what other option did we really have? Now it works on any platform, because even, Facebook, you can't really italicize. So yeah, it's great. Now, they don't have a ton of options, and they have a bunch of silly options. So I tell people, don't go crazy with it. Pick bold or pick italics and be done with it. But it's
we're gonna look at that tool a little later, because I'm sure some people are like, oh, I didn't even know there's a tool that'll do that, and it's free. So it's just one of those nice to have kind of things, or nice to know about. So yeah, I just love all the stuff that I love when y'all bring stuff to the table, like, hey, let's talk about this as well. So but first I want to start this. Well, let me back up before I dive into all of that. I'm trying to channel Maria, because Maria is so good at pumping me up and promoting me, and I don't ever promote myself. I'm so bad about it. So all of a sudden I'm thinking, what would Maria do right now before getting started? Maria would have me say this. Quick heads up, y'all. I have a few openings right now for one-on-one coaching and consulting. If you've been thinking about getting help with AI, with social media, with just building your social media presence, hit me up. Let me know, because I've been making sure I have some room in my schedule for, I love one-on-one coaching consulting. I've been doing it for so long. I love it. I just don't always have time to do it all the time, but I'm making more room in my schedule. So if anybody's interested with just some one-on-one help, reach out. We can get you a session booked, and it's just something I enjoy doing, and where you get really specialized one-on-one time. So always feel free to reach out. So yeah, Maria, I was channeling you for that. I'm like, I know Maria, she'd be like, Madalyn, because when you're here, you're always like, y'all, Madalyn also does this, and y'all, it's like,
don't forget.
Yeah, I'm always good at pumping up everybody, promoting everybody, but then I'm so bad about doing it myself.
Well, and Madalyn, can I just comment? You just asked if we are using ChatGPT. That's the first thing. I tend to go to Grok, because I'm kind of more on X.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to go back into school and some of your other stuff, because what are the pros and cons? What is the comparison? ChatGPT is obviously the most popular, but don't tell Alon that.
But you know, what really boils down to is your preference. I mean, they're all similar but different. And like Grok is really good for real time. Like if you want just real time information, that's a good one. But it can be snarky, you know, it can be a little different. I also heard with the new Grok 4, the brand new one that just released, you've got to be on their highest paid tier to access it. So like I'm on, I forgot which one. I don't even pay for it. You know, they did that thing where you get the paid account if you have so many followers that are verified. And apparently I reached whatever that amount is. So I get the blue check mark and the free, but there's like 3 tiers. It's the middle one.
And
It's
I
the
just
middle one.
downgraded from the highest tier because the price bumped so astronomically. Like,
Yeah.
what the heck?
Yeah.
So I have Grok, but not the newest one either.
Yeah, you only get the Grok 4, which is supposed to be phenomenal. I mean, from what I've been reading, it's supposed to be way better than any other AI tool. It's supposed to be revolutionary. But I can't see it because I mean, you got to pay that really high amount to be able to have access. So I don't know if that's going to change, but it really goes down to preference. And if you really like using Grok, that's great. I mean, I played with Grok some, and sometimes I like it, but I have put so much time and effort into ChatGPT, and I really like what I get out of it. I've gone through periods where I'll switch to Gemini. You know, there was a time where I was using Gemini way more because I just found the output was better. And then I went back to ChatGPT and I thought, well, you know what? ChatGPT got better. And you know, they're always changing. And so what I think is a good idea is from time to time, try some of the other ones to just kind of compare, because many times it's like, well, how are they programmed to work at this moment? And they change because they're always upgrading them. I don't know, like real quick around the room. I mean, what is your, because this is interesting. So we know yours is Grok, Maria. Bez, what's your preferred AI tool?
Claude or ChatGPT or Gemini, and sometimes I'll line them up side by side.
Yeah.
And see how, you know, you get different outputs. So.
And Magi is great because you get them all. You can start one chat and pick one. So you can just start your conversations and have it set for ChatGPT. And then halfway through, you might, you know what, I'm going to switch it to Claude. And now it's going to utilize Claude. They even have an auto button, and you do auto, and based on your prompt, it will decide automatically what's the best tool to be using for that, which I just think is phenomenal. And I've experimented with all of that, and it's quite interesting. But also it just depends, like, because I've ended up spending so much time using ChatGPT ever since that darn audio thing came out where you can just talk to it like a person. When that came out earlier this year, I just went nuts with it and I just fell in love with it. And I just was using it so much. So, I mean, I use that a lot, but I also use my Magi a lot. So it's kind of like a 50-50. It's just finding what works for you, what you're trying to get out of it. And go from there. But don't be afraid to experiment with some of the others, because you might be pleasantly surprised. You go, you know what? I didn't think about taking that prompt I put into Grok and try it on ChatGPT to see what I get. You know, they all have a free version. So you could always play around with the different ones to see. I remember people raving about Claude when it first came out. And I'm like, really? There's a new one now besides ChatGPT. And I remember trying it. And I'm like, this is really good. And so I was using that for a while. And then when Gemini came out, I'm like, Gemini was really good. So it's okay to switch them around. But that's when a tool like Magi comes in handy, because you're always going to have access. If anybody here has not checked that out yet, I definitely recommend trying out Magi. You can go check it out. My new link shortener is dub.sh. I don't see anybody using that link shortener, but Bitly is just not that good anymore. But if you go to dub.sh/Magi AI, you can go check it out. They don't have a free trial anymore. They used to, but then bad actors came in and really took advantage of that. And it's a small company that's being run by my friend Dustin Stout, who's been on here many times. And it's just really sad when you get bots and things taking over a free trial of something, to the point that like they had to disable it, which is a real shame. But I can tell y'all from my experience of using that tool, I've been using it since it came out. When I first had a free trial couple years ago when it was new. I fell in love with it so quick. I'm like, I'm paying for this. I want all the features. And when I started paying month to month, within a month or two, I'm like, I'm going to switch to annual. Like, I'm never going to stop using this. This is that good. Like, something has to be good. Number one, for you to pay for it, but then to go from monthly to annual, it's like, because I remember when all of that was new with AI, I was like, what? I think I'm just gonna do month to month. Because what if this ChatGPT and this AI stuff, doesn't last long, or what if there's something newer and better? I remember I was just like, I'll just do month to month, but then so quickly I'm like, oh, I can't live without this. This is so good. This is so helpful, especially when you're a solopreneur. I don't know. Anybody have thoughts on that to share?
I do agree, especially, and I think I've mentioned just little admin tasks or putting together a list or things like that. I don't use it for my writing, but I do use it to tighten things up. I also have Grammarly, which I've had Grammarly forever,
Me
right?
too.
But people don't realize if you've been using Grammarly, you've been using an AI.
You've been
right?
using AI all this time. It just wasn't called AI.
Right.
I've had Grammarly for so long. They send out, I get an email every week. I have a paid account with them. I get an email every week, and it lets me know how many weeks I've been with them. And it's like
Yeah.
some crazy. I need to go look at that and tell you. I've been with them
Forever.
probably since they came out 4 or 5 years ago, I think. So we've been
Yeah.
using AI all this time.
Yeah. It's
And
kind of funny how people freak out about that. But anyway, to answer the question that you started, I use Chat or Magi. I also like Gamma, which makes
Love
the
Gamma.
slides, the presentations, which is wonderful. I used it to do a presentation a couple weeks ago for the Women's Fiction Writers Association. So I just took all of my notes and said, make a presentation out of this in Gamma. And it was perfect. And they were like, can we have copies of your slides? I'm like, sure. And it looked very professional. And so for things like that, I think, why wouldn't you use it? Because I do pay for assistants, but I don't have them do those things, right? I run my business. They help me with, graphics and other things. So anyway, I think it can be helpful. I just wanted to add a caveat, Maria. I don't know if you heard about Grok and all the anti-Semitic things that came out.
Yeah.
And it just happened in the it's sort of been doing that, but just in the last week, they took out all the filters. And so Grok was reporting on all this stuff about the Holocaust was a good thing and Adolf Hitler is
Yeah,
wonderful.
I was saying some crazy stuff.
Yeah. So just be aware.
Well, what goes in goes in. That's what you get out.
Right.
See, that's the problem with any of the AI. It depends who's building it, whose philosophy, who it's coming from, what their biases are built into the program.
Totally.
That's
But they put guardrails typically because when Facebook released an AI bot years ago in Facebook Messenger, it got anti-Semitic. It went crazy because people were just messing with it, and it got out of control. They had to shut it down. Like within a day, it really was going sideways.
So Rachel, are they fixing it? What happened?
Yes. Apparently there was such an outcry from the Simon Wiesenthal Center and the ACLU and just people using it are like, wait, what is this? What is going on? And Bonnie just said it's not a reflection of Elon's personal views. What they're looking at is what's being shared on Twitter and learning from that. So if there's a lot of very anti-Semitic commentary, it is picking up and learning from that. So
and that whole idea of conflict breeds cash is the mentality of so many people that are posting out there. Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
So just be aware of it. That's all I'm saying.
Thank you.
Well, just to let you know, Twitter is pretty crazy these days. So you see, I'll just say a lot of crazy racist stuff out there, and people are pretty emboldened about that. So if Rachel, I was sad to hear that they didn't put the guardrails on, but if you go on there, it's not the same. It's probably
Yeah.
what it used to be.
And the thing where we could put certain terms we don't want to see, that's not working for me anymore. It's
Oh, no.
disregarding my list. So I'm getting a lot of junk that I never used to have to see.
Yeah.
Wow.
So those are being dismantled. It's true. Yeah. Yeah. It's something to think about.
A little bit of Doge within X.
Yeah. Free speech. Everyone wants to yell about their
Yeah.
whatever.
I don't
Anyway.
have any complaints about X and my use of Grok or Grok or however we're
Grok.
pronouncing it. Yeah. But I will just say I'm a woman of routine, daily routine, and X has always been where I wanted up to date, what breaking news kind of stuff. And I am, I can't spend time just going down the stream on X anymore. I pull that from Grok. And I will say, as of 9 a.m., as of 10 a.m., 11 a.m., or whenever I take my break, and bringing up key points. So again, it's all in how to use the tool for whatever purpose. If your focus is, I'm on Grok because I want to get the news when it comes out. I want these people to pull the content from. And I use that daily, and I use ChatGPT daily. And nobody has mentioned Meta, and nobody has mentioned, the Bing Create, which is Dolly 3 coming over to create the images and so forth. But I, as the artistic side of me, and we'll talk about content and how we're generating our content, because they all put their watermarks on their content, and I use both of those tools as well.
Well,
every day.
Let me just say something real quick about X again, because in January, when the fires were happening, we were evacuated. So in an emergency situation, it was really not reliable to go to X for updated information because there was so much junk in the way. I had to dig through to find out evacuation centers and stuff like that. So it wasn't as useful as one would hope on the up-to-date in an emergency situation. As I would have thought.
Only, Maria,
for us. Yeah.
You said X, but with Grok, because I have another home up in the Pacific Northwest, and on Grok, I pulled up the fire news from Grok right away.
Yeah, I didn't use Grok for the safety stuff. I just used Grok for
I'm
research.
not using, because I'm not using X as a stream and information, because Grok has all those things built into it. If I know who the IDs are, you can tell it specifically to review those. And so that makes it very fast, and like the old way we wanted it. If I wanted to hear what news one news source was saying over the other, it works that way. But I don't use X as X, so to speak, except for Madalyn.
I know, right?
So I go click on her post because I know she's going to do that. And
So Madalyn, I didn't mean to hijack the conversation.
Oh, no,
we're not all about X. What's our next thing on the agenda?
It's all good, but Bonnie says X is absolutely where you want to be for up-to-date info. AI tools are completely fine to use, but they're only as accurate as the data uploaded to them. So thank you for sharing that, Bonnie. Bonnie, we need to get you on here sometime. Yeah, let's go ahead and transition over, because I want to show y'all, walk y'all through this. No, but I love these conversations. I love how we just have these little interesting pop-up discussions. That's what makes this a great chat each week. This is not some set, we have to follow a certain agenda. This is a casual hangout, and when things just come into the picture here, it makes it great to have a discussion. So no, I love this. So this is great. So yeah, let me show y'all. So let me add, make sure I got the right screen up. The StreamYard made some changes, so it's like trying to make sure I'm doing this the right. I don't know, Barb, if you've been struggling with, they keep adding all these changes, which are some of these are really good, but it's just some things are kind of like rearranged, and it gets a little frustrating. But it's all good.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not trying to complain. It just kind of slows me down because I haven't used some of this stuff long enough with the newer stuff. But let me show you all on the screen here. So I came up with this whole new workflow for doing my YouTube thumbnails, but this can apply for any kind of image generation anybody's utilizing, especially when you want to use AI tools for it. So this is over in our school community. So, send the ticker down there. If you're not in our school, come over school.com/Madalyn Sklar. It's free to join. But I wanted to talk about it today here because I'm sure some of y'all may find value in this. Let me just kind of pull up on the screen so y'all can see. This was created 100% using vidIQ. It's a new tool I've been playing with, and I'm really impressed. It's not always great, but every once in a while there's a perfect one I don't have to tweak. But lately, what I've been I'm going to show you all this whole system where when I do tweak it, how I've done it. But some of these are really cool. Like, you can upload your photo and you can tell it what you want it to be about. And then it can come up with all different kinds of designs. And then for my other YouTube, for my Kratom Stories, this is from a live stream. I do a live stream every Saturday. And it took me so many attempts to get the right kind of image. And I'm going to show y'all what it took to get to this. It took a lot of iterations, and I had to use vidIQ and then take what vidIQ gave me, which was not perfect, but it was a starting point for this, what you see. And then ChatGPT was like, I was having a conversation with ChatGPT to kind of help me, this is not what I want, but we're getting there. This is kind of going in the right direction, but not quite. And then I go into Canva, and I do have a paid account on Canva where you get this thing called Magic Edit, where you can do all kinds of cool stuff. You just press a button and you can move text. Like, I can take an image like this that was created elsewhere, put it over into Canva and move stuff around, rearrange. Is pretty cool. So I just want to show y'all what I've been doing with this because I'm super impressed. But let's just start with just a simple basic. So this was made flat out in vidIQ. Has anybody here heard of vidIQ? Is anybody any of y'all familiar with it? So
I have. I've
Yeah,
been
I have.
using it for years, and I actually won a free lifetime access to it. So
really,
Yeah.
a
really,
long time ago. That's what it pays to be OG in some respects.
Cindy, we got you on screen now. Nice to see you. So vidIQ, I'm familiar with. I've heard of the tool. I know it's been around a while. But what's interesting, because I get on YouTube and I'm always wanting to learn tips on using YouTube better as a creator, it feeds me a lot of great creator content, and vidIQ keeps coming up. And for those of y'all that have been regulars here, from time to time, I play a video for y'all from vidIQ of some different tips and things that I find interesting that can help us as content creators. And so I've been familiar with them. And then recently, I want to say maybe several weeks or a month ago, I'd reported here that they had this new thumbnail, a free thumbnail creator. And I know I showed it here. It was like this free thing where you can make a thumbnail. And I thought, okay, let me play around with this little free tool and see. And it was okay. It wasn't great. But then now I'm getting, vidIQ is getting on my radar even more. So I'm looking into it and I see they got all these tools, but it's like, do I need all these tools? I really want something to help me with creating thumbnails a little bit quicker. I've done the graphic designer thing, and which is okay. It's going to cost you money, and it's not always done on your time schedule, right? So it can get frustrating if you're having to wait around, and then if there's back and forth to get it just right, it can be frustrating. And what I know for me is that I'm not always good at just coming up with designs off the top of my head. So that's where I'm finding vidIQ helpful on their paid account. I did the free trial and then switched to go ahead and do the lowest paid account, because just for this one tool, there's all these tools, but I just love this one tool because it gives me a starting point. I can put in the link to my YouTube while it's still unlisted. And then I feed it what it's about, or what I want the thumbnail to be about. And you have ways of refining it, but it's giving me a good starting point. So back to the images on here, it gave me good starting points, and some of them were fine as is, like those first two. They were fine as is, and and I've used them. But the other one, it was like, no, this needs more. And it's just me being picky, which That's fine. Do what works best for you. So in playing with all of these tools together, I found that, okay, I can start with vidIQ. So at least I have a starting point, and it's hit or miss. But when I find something that I like, and it's not 100%, then I go into ChatGPT and I have a conversation with ChatGPT, and I'm like, okay, help me. And in our school here, this post, I have like all the details of how I did this. I'm just going to kind of briefly explain it here. But yeah, so ChatGPT is helping me kind of go back and forth with like, okay, because I can send ChatGPT the images that vidIQ's done. I said, and I'll share with ChatGPT. I talk to ChatGPT like a person. That's what works for me. I mean, you can do it how you want, but what works for me is just having a conversation with it. And I'll say, hey, let me show you this. It's not quite what I want, but it's getting there. What can I do to make this better? Or how can I adjust this? And sometimes ChatGPT can take it and make it better itself, but not always. So I'll just kind of go back and forth the chat, have it help me figure out, I'll also say, what's working with this? What can I do to make this pop? Because sometimes it just doesn't quite pop. Like for instance, on this one here, I had to tweak it to make it pop. I'll show you the before, but I had ChatGPT work with me. Like, what can I do to make the leaves on the left there pop more? Because it didn't look good the way it was on there. How can I make this layout better? So it really helped me refine the concept and also just figure out better text placement. And then I was able to take it over into Canva and polish it up over there. And so I'm not saying this is like a workflow for everyone. It's figuring out what works for you. I just kept trying to figure out what's the simplest way I could do this. And I was hoping that vidIQ could just do it all, but it doesn't always. So I'm going to, let me see. Has anybody ever used this vidIQ for thumbnails like this? Has anybody here done that before or no?
Not me.
So you have some of y'all have used vidIQ, but not to. I don't know if the thumbnail thing is a newer thing because they have so much in there. It's crazy how much stuff is in there.
I bought it for a year and I didn't use it, and now I'm about to start again.
Are you? Well, I need to go spend time looking at all the different features. That's for sure.
It's a good tool. It's a good tool.
Yeah.
Now it's all Madalyn's fault.
It's all my fault.
Getting it again.
So because when you log into the dashboard, there's all this stuff it can do, but you go over to create and because y'all look at all the stuff you get, like just in the create section, you can all this. So I'm going to go to thumbnails. It's going to show me all my past stuff, and not all of them are great. They're just, some of them are really bad. Some of them make no sense. But these are for two different accounts I have. That's why you see a lot of the Kratom stuff on here too. But let me scroll down to some of the stuff. So like after last week when we had our discussion about school for $9, I was trying to come up with some cool, and I thought this one, and I fed it that image of me. And I kind of liked how these came out.
Yeah,
I thought they were very catchy. And so I thought that was a lot of fun. And so, it might be something where you can play around with this and go, you know what, this works. This is exactly what I'm looking for. Or like what I'm doing, like, okay, I'm getting there, but now I need to refine it. What can I do to refine it? And so, but if anybody wants to check out this tool, I'll put that up on there so you can see vidIQ. I'm impressed with it. So yeah, since we're on a live stream here, you got to bear with me because I got to go from screen to screen. Okay, so let me pull up. Can be kind of slow. So when I was playing around with this image, after a lot of tweaking, like I had to get it to refine because on the left there, the background it was terrible. The background blends in with the leaves, and then Kratom News debunked today. Well, I don't want today. So in playing around with it, at least I got a gradient green on the left by telling it that's what I wanted and trying to get those leaves to pop a little better, but it still wasn't just right. I feel like I was still really struggling with this and not getting it to exactly where I wanted to go. So that's when, as I was saying before, I had a chat with ChatGPT to refine it. And also with Canva, because I'm still kind of new with doing this in Canva myself, trying to tweak it myself like this. I mean, usually I've had people do that part for me. So then I just, utilize the information it's given me. And what I did is took the image I just showed y'all, brought it in here, and ChatGPT advised me like, yeah, you need like a little warning kind of icon here. And I wanted to turn this image here. So, cause when it was straight up and down, it just needed to turn a little bit. And I use a shadow effect to make that pop, because before there was no shadow effect. It just blended in too much. And in these, in the edit, I'm telling you, this Magic Studio thing is amazing, y'all. But shadows, I was able to come in and put a shadow in there to just make it look better. But this Magic Studio, and it's only on the paid account. I was doing the free account for a long time, but then it's like, yeah, but you don't get all these cool features. So I finally decided to do it, and just on their lowest plan where you get the features. But you can have it remove the background, like literally one tap to remove a background.
Right.
You can do a background generator, magic eraser. This is cool. So on that other one, it had that text at the bottom that said today. So I can use a magic eraser and removed it. And like so quick, I was able to remove that. I can do a magic grab where I can move something. I can grab something on here. I can move him if I want. I can tell it what I want to grab. Take a second. And then it's going to let me, look, I can move them.
Mm-hmm.
It's really cool, all this stuff that with just literally just a click with this. So I don't know if anybody's been playing around with this Magic Studio, but
Yep.
And the grab, you can grab the text and move
Yep.
it. So I was able to do that with the text as well.
When you grab the text, then you can also edit it. You can change it to your brand text. You can do all the things that you would do with, like, it literally
Right.
changes graphic visual of the text to text. It's amazing.
Yep.
Yeah. It's really cool.
That's another tool I use every day, is Canva.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe we should have you teach a class on it here, because
I'm not.
I feel like I'm still learning with all this. There's just
I am too. But they had a AI 2 years ago for us to start using, and I started using it then. And it's everything you've pointed out today. It's like, I don't have time for the frustration. If something that you create in Dolly isn't spelled right, or I had a fight with Grok. Oh, I have to find that thread because it was hilarious. Because I'm used to ChatGPT, like speaking to it as a person, because I fine tuned it. And with Grok, no, it was like talking to a computer. And I actually told it that it was incompetent. I was that frustrated. I've got to find that thread because it was hilarious about its response. But with Canva, very early on, and I didn't actually realize that there were more paid options. I just thought it was a paid and the free. So I'm sure I must have the first level, because I just use it for myself, not for anything else. Wow. Always learn something in here.
That's what I love about this chat we do. And then let me show you. So when I was still struggling with this this image, this is when it was getting better, but it was still not quite right. So I put it in ChatGPT, and it told me it was a strong thumbnail, and it was telling me what was working, and then gave me suggestions to refine it, and like a soft black shadow, which is what I wanted, and told me that I could go into Canva and work on that. So it was giving me some ideas and having an icon like I had mentioned before. So I took that over to Canva and reworked it using some of those suggestions. And then I put it in ChatGPT. I said, how's this? And look at this. This is spot on, Madalyn. Absolutely nailed it. Why this works so well. So it tells me what's working well about it, and, ready to upload. And so in all of this, I found a system that's working for me. And so I wanted to share that today because at least this is giving ideas to everybody here that, maybe you have one tool that's able to do it. Look, ChatGPT sometimes hits it perfectly just on its own. Sometimes it creates amazing images, but not always. So, it just interesting to try different things to see. And in my process of doing this the last few weeks, I found a workflow it's like, okay, I got this down. vidIQ, and if it's not 100% perfect, then ChatGPT helps me figure out ways to refine it, and then I go over to Canva. But see, I'm one of those where I can be creative, but not go to Canva, open it up and go, okay, here's a design idea. That's where I've always struggled. A graphic designer can go design some couple of layouts, and I can go, okay, I like this one, and just tweak this and do that, and then it's perfect. Like, I'm good at that. So it's also knowing your strengths and weaknesses. And that's why for me, vidIQ is a good starting point because it gives me ideas for thumbnails that I didn't think about. And then if I feel like I still need help, then ChatGPT is my little sidekick my invisible sidekick next to me, is helping me figure out, like, okay, it's helping me formulate ideas because I can't think of it all.
You've just given me such an idea because I was telling you that I had just recently done something with images. So I have a children's book that is published now. That
Congrats.
is my
Yay.
son's story. He hit a moose and a deer like a couple miles from each other on the same night. And he had to say goodbye to his car, his beloved car,
Oh,
because it didn't live. So I made a children's book of it and I did it all in ChatGPT as far as the graphics. Now you have to really work with it and say whatever, but you just made me realize I should have taken that over into Canva because there's one place where you're missing something here, ChatGPT, and I was trying to get it to like add that piece of it back in again. And that's the downfall of it. It's like it won't keep the exact image again and again. And so I was like, well, now I could take that in Magic Grab it and put it into the next scene with that
right.
same design for the car. But but I got there eventually, and there is a whole bunch of us authors who have just recently done this, and we're going to have a launch on August 4th. So I'm super excited
That's
about.
awesome.
Yeah,
Congrats.
yeah, so
Congrats.
exciting.
Love that. Well, thank you for sharing that. Since we're already winding down our hour because it always goes so fast, so I want to go over what Rachel brought over to the school community for us. If you're over there, you probably already saw it, but something for us to talk about today is, as we're mentioning at the top of the hour, how you can very easily add bold or italics to any of your social media platforms when you're doing a post with this tool called yaytext.com. So let me pop it in here so y'all can see. It's just one of those interesting free tools. So y'all bookmark that link. So anytime you want to do this, Rachel, do you do this very often? I mean, as I mentioned earlier, I'm not really big with. I see people do this and it makes their posts stand out, but I don't really do it all that much.
I do because I'm dealing with a lot of clients with book titles. So I like being able to italicize the book title as opposed to having to put it in all caps, which is really the only option we had to help it stand out on Twitter or Facebook. The only other thing to keep in mind is it does take up more space. So if you have, let's say that you have, like, one of my books is titled Broken People. If it's just broken people, it's normal one character per space. But if it's italicized and or bolded, it's going to double or triple the number of spaces that you're using. So if you really are short on space, skip it.
Okay. Good to know. So it's real simple. You can just type in what you want your text to say, and then you can see all these different, and you can get the copy or you can actually just click on tweet and it'll open up your Twitter, your X. But that's pretty cool. I really appreciate you sharing this with our community over on school, because stuff like this can be just so valuable. It's one of those things, like for me, it's like, well, I wasn't thinking about needing that at the moment, but now I'm going to keep that on the back burner. And whenever somebody asks about that, I'll know to send them there. So, or if I need to use something like that for something, it's there, which is great. So,
Yeah, it's really convenient. And the other thing that might help people if you're an author is I just take a Google sheet and create a style sheet with it, or a Google Doc, and then I can put in the title in the bold and the italics, and I don't have to keep going back to Yay Text to do that every time. So then
gotcha.
you have all the links in one place, you have everything in one spot. So that's a tip for you.
Live online learning says another note is some platforms do not see the results, and that's true of Yay Text as text, so it may not be
Alt
in search
text.
engines.
I love alt text. We should have a whole thing on alt text because
Yeah.
most people don't do it and they're missing out.
Tell everybody, for those that don't know, tell everybody what alt text is.
Alt text is where it says alt on it, and when you click on an image, it should say, you know, like cat watching, you know, Zoom. I haven't seen him today, but you know, that could be what it can be. That simple. It doesn't have to be your entire tweet. It just needs to be what's in the image. And that technically is for two reasons. One is for people with any kind of disability where they can't see the image, but that it can be read to them. That's really helpful to have. And it's also great for indexing and SEO because you put your keywords in there, those get picked up by Google and by the platform algorithm that you're on.
That's great. Thank you for sharing all that. Barb, are you good for chatting about Meta to wrap up?
I really think that what is in there is too in depth to just. I mean,
But
I'm
they could,
looking
but they
4
could go to
minutes,
school. They could
and
go to school and go read through it.
Right. That's what I was going to say is why don't we carry that conversation in school and then follow up on it next week?
There you
Because
go.
one
There
of the
you go.
most important things in there is what they're saying, what unoriginal content is, and you know that about crediting for the work. But there is another situation where, in addition, our systems detect duplicate videos on Facebook. We will reduce the distribution of the copies of that original. Creators can get the visibility that they deserve. So that made me think, well, gosh, we're sharing, just like StreamYard, we're sharing that event on our accounts. If somebody else shares it on their account, that's duplicate content. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It becomes a much more complex situation. And I think original intent, they're trying to get rid of the spammers. I know that in the ballooning community, I have people still ballooning event photos from events and from our balloon pilots. And then they create their profile and they put their images on there. And then they're like a magnet for the ballooning people interested in ballooning. And they're all scammers. So I know that they're cracking down on that. But this is, I mean, you got to read the fine print. This is like for those people who say, no, I never read the terms of service. It's a big deal. They, you know, 4 days ago they did that. And I just, it's a short time. I think we should just discuss it in the group maybe, and then summarize next week, because that would be great. And did you all know that Chrome was ending the support on Chrome apps?
No.
I had no clue. This came up as a result of when I was looking on vidIQ and that, and I thought, you know, something doesn't jive. And so I'm going to drop that in our group too, because this is mind-blowing. It says that developers are advised to make the transition to modern web technologies. I'm totally in July, currently scheduled for Chrome OS M138, the last Chrome OS release. And I'm using the Edge browser, which is based on Chrome, but that's really strange.
Oh,
that's the first I heard of that today.
Yeah.
I mean, I do watch, like I said, I go to Grok every morning, and I, you know, and I get summaries from ChatGPT too, and nothing came up on that. So it would, and they're encouraging us to delete the Chrome apps. So
Really? Wow.
So we definitely need to take a closer look at that, and I'll put that in group as well. But this thing with Meta this week in particular, and there were two other things they did this week that's very disturbing, and that's I think we're in for. They do it in the summertime. It's like, oh well, they're out playing and having fun, doing all these other things, and nobody's going to pay attention. We'll sneak this in on them. And I don't know.
That's not good. Yeah.
Not at all.
Well, yeah,
And
definitely share it over on school so we can keep that discussion going because it's very interesting and people just need to be aware if you're creating content, you need to know like these changes that are going on.
Yeah, and for everybody watching, you see how this is working? More of the discussion is happening in the school app with more
Right.
details and links and all that kind of stuff. So if you're interested in following up and seeing what Barb is talking about, yeah, and more details on what Madalyn's talking about all the time. And Madalyn, when you join school, you can go into the backlog, right? Everything that has been posted there.
Everything is searchable.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's
yeah.
a search up top and you can do
Yeah.
keyword searches.
It's not just from the moment of joining or something like that.
Exactly. And everything
Perfect.
is categorized. So if you just want to go and look at my anybody's past content here that because you have to give it a category and say you just want to look at AI tools and hacks, and you can just pull up all of those or, helpful advice, social media, we got
Perfect.
all kinds of, plus I love occasional motivational stuff. So I do have like some really great little motivational videos I've shared on here that I found helpful to me and I shared it with the group. So yeah, school is very robust. It's simple and easy to use, but it's also very robust. There's so much information in here. It's easy to access. And then if you're, like, hey, I don't, I need a reminder when this is every week in the calendar here, shows my time zone. I'm in Central, but it has the link. This is right. First of all, we're broadcasting all over the place. So thank y'all, fellow panelists here that are broadcasting to your social media as well. We're on multiple LinkedIn, Facebooks, X, and YouTubes right now. So we're all over the place. And, my friend Venus says, getting ready to make dinner in my instant recipe courtesy of ChatGPT. So ChatGPT is amazing. ChatGPT can be so helpful in so many ways. But yeah, we keep these discussions going on in school. You can always, check in there for like when we have things going on like this weekly chat, get your reminders. But I really love using school. And if you weren't here last week, there was a big announcement from school that you can use the platform to, first of all, it's available as a platform where you can create your own communities, right? But what kept some people from doing it is that's $99 a month that, for the owner of the community, you get, it's $99 a month, but you get all these tools, you get, everything that I show y'all on there, you're able to do. It's very robust. But now they have a new plan in addition to that one for just $9 a month. So if $99 a month, especially if it's something, a new community you want to start and you're just not sure if it's going to hit and you're like, yeah, that's a lot of money to invest. Then we were talking about it last week. Here's the info on that. So you can set up your own for just $9 a month. So it's already giving me ideas like, okay, I think I want to set up a little side community for this. I kind of thinking like I want to have like an inner circle, like a Madalyn's inner circle that I want to start. It's like, well, I can just pay $9 a month to school instead of $99 a month and just, give that a go and see how it does and figure out what would be a good price point, because you can make your community free or you can charge. You can do it however you want. And it's like, okay, I'd like to have something like this, but an inner circle, like, it's not public, it's inner circle.
Right.
Madalyn?
Which is so important.
Yeah.
Madalyn, can I ask you one thing about that? Because I have another team member that is using school. He's doing very well. And the thing I don't understand is that either way, you only get one community. I mean, like now for your $99, you get just that one.
Yeah, you get one. And if you want to offer a free one and a paid one, then you got to do two. So, and it adds up, because I have two school communities. I have this one,
right,
social media and AI shortcuts, and then I have my Kratom Real Talk, which is for my other, my passion project. I have my Kratom Stories podcast. I do a live stream. I do a lot of stuff. I do a Spaces chat, which will be in an hour from now. And so I wanted to have a community, especially for that community, a private, secure place where there's no censorship, because, we're talking about a botanical supplement. It gets scrutinized all the time. We get censored a lot. TikTok is so mad at me right now. In the past week, I've had 2 of my TikToks for the Kratom community pulled down, and they gave me strikes. So my account might get deleted, and it won't be the first time they do that. I've had my account deleted before just by sharing my own personal experience with a plant. So when you have an industry where it can be gray area, something like school is so beneficial, because you pay for it as the owner, but you have the control. There's no censorship. You're the one that can censor, not a tech bro. It's not like that. So like when we have our Facebook groups, they're great and all, but we're not paying Meta to have our Facebook group, and Meta can decide at any time, like we just reported here a few weeks ago, like all those huge AI groups that were just disabled out of the blue because
but they brought them back. That was
they got them back. They got them back, but their AI messed up and removed all of these legit sites, and so a lot of those communities are like, okay, we better rethink where we're hosting our community, because sometimes you get what you pay for. And so that's what I like about school. You have so much flexibility on school. I've been on the school platform for several years now. I've been in other people's schools. I've been on there since before they got real big. They're real big now. They're very popular, very well known now. But I love that they finally added a second tier, because $9 a month is much more reasonable, especially if you're just like, well, $99 a month is a big investment to bring a new community over, starting at zero, because you got to get people over to it. But you still get you get a lot of flexibility even with the $9 a month. I mean, you can have it where it's free, like mine are, but you can have the classroom and you can sell stuff in the classroom. You can sell one-off. They just added native video, which is new. Before you had to just put in a link to a video, like a YouTube link or a Loom, whereas now you can actually upload video from your phone or from your computer. They are integrating live stream into it. Now I can tell you this: I for sure will have it at Madalyn's Inner Circle. When I'm thinking about just going ahead and doing it now, because I could do it and just do it through StreamYard like this, but private. But to have it all embedded, how cool would it be to have a special Madalyn's Inner Circle community, and then have that group? We have a special live stream we do. We don't have to go do this publicly. We can have just our private one without having to do a Zoom, without having to all those extra hoops. It would just be so much easier to have as an all-in-one platform. So that's something they're working on right now at school.
Which, by the way, the live streaming on Facebook has just been deteriorating over time.
Oh yeah.
Getting people on the screen and blah, blah, blah. It doesn't work right anymore. So yeah, school's a great option.
Yeah.
And you know who you're talking to then too, than being on a live platform, depending on the content.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
So it's something to think about. Oh, go ahead, Bess.
And they delete them after 30 days. I have somebody who did his course and everything, and he said, "Oh my goodness!" And so he had to get on his group and do a recording in there, and so it's not a good place. I mean, I guess they just want transient traffic, and so who knows?
It's strange because lives used to be the big thing. The more you go live, the better. But then if you go live and say something really valuable, yes, it can be taken away. We always kind of knew that, but now it's their thing, 30 days.
Yeah. If you've been watching in the news, they're actually building data centers in tents now. Mark is doing for Meta. And that I am someone who is involved in the data center end on that. And going before when we went to live and all the additional, because those live videos, those data centers are extra hot when they're having to do so many of those. But I think I have to be optimistic, and I think that because the AI is getting better, and because, like Mark, he's paying millions of dollars to people. He says, I want it done right. It's not that, he's out there wanting to do things wrong by us. He's actually wanting to do the right thing, that it will get better, and it won't be such a challenge in the future. And I will just say to all of you, because I've never been really high on Facebook. But the situation is they have over 4 billion people on their platform, and they've got over 3 billion actually signing in every month.
Wow.
So you just got to wrap your head around that. Unless you have your community, your tribe with you already, you got to get them from somewhere. So maybe as a 3-tier or 2-tier at least situation, and having a free community on Facebook and on LinkedIn, and then move them to the exclusive community on school.
Yeah.
Right. Like having your, bigger Facebook group, because you can attract more people because of the billions of people over there, and then have a private inner circle type community over on school.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But don't tell Mark we're doing that.
No, don't tell him.
He
Don't tell.
knows. He knows.
Of course he does. But what's great with school is you can
I
start
think-
with a $9 a month plan and always upgrade later if it's like working really well.
Right. All right. Well,
And all
thank you so
social
much.
media- And
Yeah.
all social media, it's all top of funnel because it's all pay to play. They're only going to let you, they're going to show your stuff only to 2% of your own audience.
Right.
And that's it. And if you can hack it and get more, great, good on you. But it's all pay to play right now. Top of
I
funnel.
miss the old days. I miss the old days where everybody saw your stuff on Facebook.
Yeah.
Those were the good old days.
Where you had 1,200 connections and all of them were
And
like,
they all saw it. Yes.
yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Can
thank
I
you so much.
Barb, a real quick question
Sure.
on Facebook before we leave? I know you want to end, and we can answer this. I think a lot of people are probably asking this question. Can we share other people's content and not get dinged? Because they put a share button on all this stuff, right?
I know. That's why I'm saying that read the link that I'll put it in the group. But if Barb is disturbed, it's not just, you need to pay attention, because you see what's coming down, and I'm always looking at who's behind it and what the intent is in achieving this. Bare minimum, their intent was to improve the quality of the content being shared and cut down on all the spamming. That the basic intent behind what they were doing. But whether their attorneys got to it, whether their people, that are writing the information got to it, there are issues in there that scare me, because just like this Madalyn and I love StreamYard. It's a third-party application. And we, like a lot of OGers, we get involved with these applications and actually help them evolve and be a better application for us.
Right.
But if they take the access for that application away, period, we're screwed. And so is the developer of that application. But this thing about the whole foundation of Facebook, and before it was Meta, is sharing the information, from whatever was going on at school, whatever was happening, is share it. And then it got to be, well, don't just share Johnny's content. You have to tell your unique story on that. You have to add value to it. So a lot of it, I look in their intent and I say, okay, well, I can still share external content if I add my value to it, is how I'm looking at it. But it's very iffy when you start reading through the fine print on that. So it's anybody's guess. And we do this over the summer, we're going to find out. But I look at, I don't know about you all, but I manage the groups I manage. I'm always looking at the stats every day. And unless I have my ballooning people, it's is my baseline, because I have like 6,000 in that group. Half of my friends that I have on Facebook are actual real life friends, and they're in that group. So that's been over 30 years. I mean, we've got children and grandchildren that are all in this thing, and they're using the technology. And so it is a situation that, I mean, as we're going through this and paying attention, that even if we're, whatever tool we're using, and like this, pay to play, who minds? I don't mind paying to play if the tools work. If they work as they have told them. When I bought into them, they said that our tools will do this, that, and the other thing. That's, I'll stick with it. But we're in some pretty scary times, and I think the AI is actually making them those guys step up and say, hey, we can be replaced by AI. We don't do this right. And so it is how to actually, customize the AI so it gives the most excellent. So in the end, that it'd be a very good thing. But who knows?
Yeah.
I will
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I agree with you.
Okay. Just as before I came into this, my husband came back from faxing something. Did you know you could still fax something?
Really? Faxing is still a thing?
Doesn't that blow? I was like, what? Oh no, he went down to was it FedEx, Gary?
FedEx, Kinko's, they still do that, right?
FedEx. But then to find out, he told me, well, the same thing, if he had gone to the post office, would be $8. And it was $2.50 to fax.
Wow. Times have changed.
So times have changed, because remember how we used to all set out those certified letters and all of that, and putting our contracts together. And we have PDF file, but they won't accept them for everything. So
what is that, Buzz? Cassette recorder.
It's an artifact.
Here we go, back to the 80s.
Wow. That's your show and tell for Back to the 80s live stream.
I got a BlackBerry somewhere around here.
Yeah. Oh, let's yeah.
I love my BlackBerry.
I was going to go get my
show and tell.
You mean the brick? That was a brick. It was like a small brick.
Okay. Can we put that kind of stuff in your community?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, let's get a post over on school with our artifacts, our 80s and 90s.
Artifacts. I love it.
When BlackBerries were fairly new, they were too big to use as a phone, right? I just wanted it so I could email. Like it was.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all old enough here. That was revolutionary to be. I would be traveling to events and I could have my BlackBerry and emailing, and it was wild. But I had my cell phone and my BlackBerry. I mean, I literally had two devices, but the BlackBerry was strictly so I could do computer stuff. Mm-hmm. Because back then your laptops were crazy big and heavy, and they were just too heavy to lug around everywhere. So, yeah, boy, well, I'm sure we could tell lots of stories with the artifacts from the 80s and 90s.
I like the word artifacts.
Artifacts. I do too. Plus, I remember back when cell phones was very new. It was very expensive. You paid it was kind of like long. The younger crowd doesn't understand. We used to pay for long distance. Remember that, y'all? So back in the early days of cell phones, you had to pay by the minute. And I remember like we had this great deal because it was only 25 cents a minute. It was like some deal at the time. And it was like, man, that added up. Because you were so excited to be using it. I remember like being in a car. I'm on a phone. I'm talking to you from a phone in the car. And people be like, oh my God. Because it was such a new thing. That was wild.
Yeah, I had one of those that had the battery, and it was like a brick of a battery in a little phone. And I was in college, and I don't know how I got it. I think it was a multi-level marketing thing, and my car was all beat up, and I had a mobile phone that I couldn't use because it was too expensive.
That's wild. Oh man, I still remember the car phone because it was like this. It was like a huge brick. It was huge. And you open it because I think it had a big battery pack with it. But
it was a battery.
It was strictly for the car. And it wasn't very mobile. So, I mean, you just kept it in the car. But yeah, that was wild. I just remember like using that, driving in the car on our car phone. It was pretty cool. Well, y'all, we need to wrap up. It's always great hanging out. I love this group. And thank you to everybody that's been tuning in and hanging out with us. Always great to see y'all smiling faces. And Cindy Lou, I still can't believe it's so early over in New Zealand and you're hanging out with us. You're such a trooper. Thank you for spending time.
It's always fun. And yeah, when I get to bed early enough to do it.
I'm excited about your new book.
Yeah. I sent it to my son and he's like, there's a book about this? I was like, yeah, it's your story, silly.
That's amazing. I love that you did that.
It's so fun. I'm going to do one for my other kids too and just have to come up with what story of their life do I want to put into it. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Venus says, I think you can fax from the call phone with an app. I've never figured it out. So you can. Yeah, there's apps that can do that.
They've recently taken the copper wiring, or they're in the process of taking the copper wiring out of our town. And so I can no longer have a house phone because they're taking them out. So, but I found an online service that's 20 cents a minute and it forwards it to my cell phone.
Oh
so
my
I
gosh.
didn't have to change my appointment. My doctors all had that phone number and everything. I don't have to change all that. I just have $10 a month to have the account and then 20 cents a minute when calls come in. So
interesting.
I'm like, okay, we're back to the 20 cents a minute thing.
Oh man. Wow. That's so interesting. Well, good
How
seeing
about
y'all.
the party lines?
Oh, don't get you're gonna get us down that rabbit hole, Beth, like we've done before. He just knows what to say. Let's talk about party. Y'all remember those party lines?
Yeah, you remember when the phone would ring 3 times and it wasn't yours and you'd pick it up?
Yes. The younger people just have no idea all the things we used to do. When technology was evolving.
That became Clubhouse, right? The party line became Clubhouse, I believe.
When I first went into Clubhouse, and that was before Twitter had Spaces, I was like, oh my gosh, this is like those party lines in the 80s where you call that number and all these people are on the phone with you and you're like, you don't even know who you're talking to, but it was fun, It's like, wow, this is interesting, Clubhouse.
Yeah. But nobody knew when you said party lines, they'd look at you like you were strange. So I'd just go eat my chicken McNuggets in the corner,
Right. Is Clubhouse still around? I don't ever hear about it anymore.
Yeah, it's still around. It's kind of a little revival just starting to happen. People are returning to it. A lot of people are to it, but yeah, it's still there. There's a group of people that
I still go. There's 2 shows I go to every week.
I'm there every day.
Oh wow. Okay. So it's still a thing. It's just not like what it was, I guess, right?
I don't think
it's not growing like it was. Nothing's like it was, right? Because we were all stuck at home and we had nowhere to go.
Right.
Starving to talk to somebody.
Exactly. It was great when it came out. But they seem to have changed a lot when they got all that funding. Do you feel like that was the beginning of the end? Because that's where I started seeing like things changing and the community itself changing. And I don't know, y'all are so much more immersed in it. So I don't know if y'all know, like I definitely noticed a difference.
They didn't really have like a good business marketing person that was leading them. That's I think, so they missed opportunities. And so I mean,
well, who missed opportunity was LinkedIn when they had that live audio. They could have killed Twitter Spaces. They could have killed it. And
here's what happened. And I didn't know this till they sunset. I was talking to somebody. They actually killed the LinkedIn audio team 4 months after they launched it.
Ugh.
So we're wondering why are we having this problem and stuff? Because they didn't care. They 4 months after they launched it, they killed it, and nobody knew.
But they left it
because they
working.
Yeah,
not very well, by the way.
No,
I wanted to use it so bad, but it was terrible. It didn't hardly work, and there was nobody running it. Nobody to talk to about it.
The code base sort of. It's sometimes like Twitter Spaces is like that. I wonder what's going on over there, because I had to just quit using Twitter Spaces. It's like kick people off stages. You can't hear each other. People look invisible. So yeah. So
I haven't run into too many problems. I mean, I still do it for my Kratom community, which I'm getting ready to do in
Twitter Spaces.
35 minutes. Yeah, I still do spaces
Oh, really? Okay.
for that chat. And I haven't had any problems with that one. But it's a very small. It's a small group, so maybe with bigger groups, there's more problems. I don't know.
Back
Oh,
to
okay.
Clubhouse for just 1 second.
Yes.
They actually have Clubhouse Plus now. You can pay for Clubhouse now.
Mhm.
Really? So
Yeah.
what do you get with Clubhouse Plus?
I don't know. I didn't get it.
You
Oh,
you
okay.
you can you look,
All
you
right.
can it's almost like LinkedIn. You can see who viewed your profile, and it's
Oh, okay.
nothing revolutionary,
Okay.
and
Good to
but
know.
I'll tell you
Get a
this,
little plus symbol.
Clubhouse works. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Clubhouse
it
still has
was
great
it was
audio.
superior.
Mhm.
I was super impressed with it. I always liked it.
Mhm.
I thought they did a great job before the funding, and they just kind of lost direction. All those community people, the people that just were running things and as like community leaders. And I don't think they were officially employees, right? Weren't they just people that just kind of became community leaders in the space?
Some were and some weren't. Now,
Yep.
you know what was one of the most genius things they ever did? Was where they took somebody from the community and made them the icon.
Yes, okay, I remember that, and because it was a podcaster I really liked, and she'd come to my Twitter chats before, I'm blanking on her name, and they did that with her, and I remember when the app had updated, 'cause they would do that, like, what, once a month, I think, and do different
Every month
okay,
they would do a new
and
one,
I
yeah.
saw her picture, I'm like, "I know her," and she had just been on my Twitter chat, and I thought that was so brilliant, and, I used to do a Twitter Spaces, it was called All Things Audio, I don't know if y'all were ever on that one.
Yeah, mhm.
I did lots of spaces.
I
I
remember.
did I was doing 4 a week for a while. So one of them was All Things Audio because of all the live audio apps, and, um, yeah, I thought that was brilliant on their
That
part
was
because
brilliant.
you're
Mhm.
spotlighting a very active community member, and not just anybody, like, these are people that already had, like, followings and were well known for whatever it is. I remember there's some famous musician they did as one. I didn't really know who they were, but I know they were, like, a big deal. Um, brilliant. They did some really but what that was all before the big funding. I really felt like before they got all that massive money, they were doing things so well, and I
But
really thought that Spaces would not surpass them. I really
well
didn't think it would in
well,
the
you
beginning.
know another thing they did? I think they brought back the importance of a town hall because they used to do them every week, and
Right?
they only if you broke it down, they only talked about 3 things: updates, and they highlighted people in the community, and I can't remember the 3rd thing, but it was brilliant. It was
I loved
simple,
it. I loved it.
and people they would go in there, and then people would make rooms of that meeting
Yes.
and open up rooms, and there'll be tons of I'm like, but it just told you how important it was to communicate from a town hall perspective, and I think it put corporate USA on corporations around the world on notice of how to communicate effectively with their people. It was like a town hall. Do it town hall style.
They do it once a
Exactly. They do? Okay. Yeah, because I remember those town halls were so good, and it was so important to have a way to bring people together and make everybody feel important in the
Yeah.
community. I always thought that was so smart of them. They were doing a lot of great things. I'm glad that they're, back to doing things again and, slowly building up. Do you think they'll ever be big again, like big, or are they trying to?
There's potential. There's an audience for it, and it's really funny because 'cause they've brought back so many of the things that they had taken away, and they've brought them back. So, you're able to text again in the back channel, you're able to, separate you they've added a bunch of things that people were asking for a long time, and
Nice.
they are
I t
definitely
I tell you
doing
what, if you have a show and you stuck to it, like, there's a Rotary show that I'm a part of the mod, and then we do it once a week, and then there's one in the morning, it's a podcast show, empowered podcast at 7 in the morning that I try to go to, and then, there's a jazz show on Sundays at 4 o'clock. Those are the 3 things that I show up for. They're still there. 4 years later or
That's
5 years later,
awesome.
they're still there.
Well, I
Yep,
tell you
I
what, I'm
go
gonna go back into it because 'cause it's been a while since I've been in there, and I'm gonna go look around and see what's happening, because
Rather
I always liked it. I always liked Clubhouse. So
Yeah. Well,
thanks for
I go
bringing
there.
that
I
up.
go there for specific reasons, and I just go to. I show up at a certain time, because the same people are still there, and their longevity. Yep. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna
The
go
New
play around
Jazz
in it.
Listener is a great show. Oh, it's Sundays at 4 o'clock every Sunday.
Guys, you're like at the top on my messages. I guess I haven't checked this in a long time, but I guess maybe you messaged me a long time ago. It shows
Yeah,
you way up there.
maybe I have.
Oh no, this is showing because I think you're active. It says 6 hours. I guess.
Yeah,
you've been
I
active.
showed up this morning to the
Look
at
at
7
this.
o'clock.
I can talk. I just pressed on you. It says I can talk live. Is that new? Send voicemail, talk live, and view profile. What's
I
pop-
I think you
That's the
can.
old
Yeah.
Have y'all used
That's
that?
the old wave, and now you can talk live. Yeah, I've used that. You tap on that and it sends a message to Bez saying, "Hey, somebody wants to talk with you live." If he happens to see that, then
Oh,
And then look, when I click, look, did they view you? That's the paid service, I guess, right? Let me see if
yeah,
I tap
that's
on it.
the paid.
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that, because now I know that's for the paid.
Mhm.
You've got eyes. So it's $69.99 a year or $6.99 a month, and you get a 7-day free trial for that. Interesting.
It's all, you know what?
But that's
No
just for
matter
paid. You don't have to do the paid.
what social media you use, you really have to work hard to build an audience, and then from your audience, a small percentage will become your community, right?
Right.
So it's all a process, and now with paid to play, you just got to know what game you're playing, and you can't get caught up that I'm getting shadow banned or go. It's like, look, if your
Right.
stuff doesn't catch the algorithm and doesn't get out there, and then they test it, and that's it. I'm mainly on LinkedIn, but all of them do the same thing. All of them.
Absolutely.
They show it 2% of your own audience, and then if it doesn't catch there, it just tanks right away.
Yeah.
So, pay to
Well,
play.
I'm glad y'all brought up Clubhouse, and I'm gonna go look at it. Yeah, I gotta run. But thanks for bringing up Clubhouse, because I'm gonna go look at that. It's been a while since I've been in there, and
It's still good.
Okay, good to know.
I like it.
Good to know. Good to know. Well, y'all have a great rest of your day. Cindy Lou, have a great Friday over in New Zealand. Thanks for starting your day with us.
Yes, I'm excited to be here.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's
See
always
y'all
good to
on-
talk to somebody in the future.
That's right.
Exactly.
To
It's
know
always
that
cool.
tomorrow is still coming.
That's right. That's right. And Barb and Braz, always good having y'all here too, and everybody else that was here earlier. So we'll be back next week. Thank y'all for watching. Anybody that got here late to the live stream, just as soon as we're done, you can watch the replay and see what else we talked about. I'll see I'll see y'all later. Have a good one.